Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Comic Core Unlimited. As you can see, we have me, Jason just sat down, and we've got an empty chair to celebrate here Comic Core New Comic Book Day Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us, who all are all waiting for us here in the chat. We really appreciate you and coming around to the Comic Core channel, a channel that is alive and showing good stuff every single day of the week. Yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get when you come around the Comic Core, and I hope that you have subscribed. I hope that you are checking out what we're producing, because it seems to me, at least, to be a channel where you can stop by pretty much every night and see some awesome people from the comic community really doing some unique and fun stuff. This is Comic Core Unlimited, your Wednesday night New Comic Book Day show. I'm John's Comics with Kids, and I'm joined by Jason from Comics Misexplained. What do we got? What's the album behind you tonight?
Oh, tonight, yeah, we got B Demon. It's one of the earlier rock bands, kind of around Sabbath, that went unknown. We're called Pentagram. They're kind of more known now, and they do like a lot of festivals and tours and stuff. But this is the band before Pentagram. So it was even, kind of like probably around Black Sabbath, maybe when they first started as well, around that time period. But it pretty much just sounds like demos and rough recordings. But like the grooves and stuff are really awesome. I'm not sure what color record this one is. I got two of them.
Love a good creepy kid on the cover.
Yeah, man, the creepy kid. Yeah, a lot of these though came with like really cool additions. This was just a gray one, I guess, unfortunately. But the other one I think I have is like clear with like splatters and stuff. But yeah, man, it's good stuff. If you want to check it out, B Demon, check it out.
I always love it. I always love seeing what you got hanging behind there on you.
Yeah, man. You said a little. Delve into the mind of the madness, I guess.
Well, it's like collecting anything, and my wife's got a nice vinyl collection as well. And,
yeah, we got to do our vinyl show, man.
It doesn't matter what it is you collect. I think it really does define you in some cool kind of way.
Yeah, man, it's all stuff we like, and you're interested enough to buy, especially physically. Yeah, right. We got to do like a vinyl show one day, man. Me and you, and White Whale is interested in doing that too, so it'd be cool just to talk about records.
I'm in, for sure. We have our host who runs the Comic Core channel for us tonight, JD, who had the Golden Guys last night. How you doing, sir?
Good, a little tired. That was a lot longer than it's the longest show I've ever done, other than an auction.
Yeah, you were really pushing it.
Well, we were like talking, and we didn't realize we were on the air, and then we're like, oh, we're still going. We were just what happens when the three of us start talking. The format, we like the new format, which is we don't have to have. We're just going to ask each other questions. Each of us bring a question and offer it out to everybody. And then, but it's, you go down a rabbit hole when you ask a question, who your top 4 favorite artists in the Golden Age.
Well, I think that's kind of the fun of it. And I've always kind of enjoyed the Comic Core for those kind of discussion places. And I think that's the fun of that show you're doing. I think it's the fun of the lists. I think you get into a real great discussion where you can learn a lot of cool things that maybe you didn't know about comics. And certainly when it comes to Golden Age, I am completely noob, so I value that.
We actually got a lot of good comments from individually sent to us, and it was good on the page as well. But a lot of people called, was saying like, "Wow, this is a good, informative one," and there's a lot of pride in that with Knights and DS and I, and especially you've got DS Comics had a phenomenal, and Knights of Old. I couldn't do the show without them. They are the best they do.
The Golden Guys show for sure just has so much quality information and it's so entertaining and interesting to watch. Man, I love it. I'm bummed I missed last night. I went out with a buddy I haven't seen in forever, so I got to watch Rewind tomorrow while I'm at work. Yeah.
And in the chat, Chris Barrett says he just got his first Golden Age book today.
Congrats.
So, he has now joined the Golden Guys.
Yeah, he was watching last night. He had some great comments in there. Chris was great. We had a lot of from Tech 31. And while we were on the auction, while we were there live, the Comic Connect auction was ending right there. And we were giving out record-setting prices on some Batman that we've never seen prices go that high on the early techs. I mean, 31, 35, 38.
Oh, man. Love those early techs.
31 went for, I think, 60,000.
Wow.
In a 1, yeah.
Yikes.
God, I love those old techs, man. So cool.
Literally, we're like, oh, that's not bad, or maybe 40. It was like 20,000. We're like, oh yeah, at 25, that's the cap. we're like sitting there and we're like, it's still going,
Jesus.
and we're watching it live, keep going, bid up, and the auction ends. If you don't know Comic Connect, the way it works is it ends and then until the last person stops bidding, so everybody gets a chance to bid one more time. I just put in my max in on those things right away. Whatever I'm going to pay, I'll put in the max, and if it goes past it, it goes past it, and I lose that.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally. Yeah.
So in the chat, we got some great people. Gray Matter Hulk, you were number one in the chat. Thank you so much. Jason was right behind you. Mastodon Comics, thank you for coming. Boogie Bentley was saying, Jason, I'm falling asleep. You better get this show going.
Yeah,
I'm
Boogie
already
Bentley's
getting blamed. Gray Matter Hulk blamed me first off the run here. I don't know what's going on.
Dude, Boogie Bentley's awesome. He has a show on the S&B Network here on YouTube. So sub up S&B Network. They have a show called Comic Cast.
Cool.
They're like 147 issues deep already, like episodes. So they've been doing this for a while. A bunch of good guys over there. They have a lot of good comic news and comic reviews, and I love watching their shows every Sunday. They started doing live videos. It used to be just a podcast. Now you can, it's like us, like all the comic book community. We have these shows now. We get to, have these cool conversations face to face. So they're finally doing that now, and it's awesome seeing, the face to the voice, and it's always a good time. So I always join them on Sundays, and I'm pretty sure their show usually starts around 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully more people will start coming and watching that on S&B Network. So
That's
shout out
cool.
to Boogie Bentley. Glad to see him here.
And then I mentioned Chris. Rob Wurst is in here as well. And I said Mastodon, Jack Yo, Comics for Thomas, JP Budget Collecting, Marvel Hunter, Steve and Spock, Caleb the Comic Smurf is in here. Let's see, who else did I miss? Needmo Comics. And let's see, people talking about the band. Let's see, I missed a I love Pentagram, and this is new info to me, says Mastodon. He appreciates that. Let's see. Robert says, I traded a Love and Rockets #1 ash can for a Superman 7 signed by Schuster in a 0.5 condition. Worth it.
Absolutely. Cool. I mean, absolutely. I think a Superman 1 ends tomorrow. Iconic. Action Comics 2, a friend of mine just selling right now. He's selling Action 2. I think he wants like 24. He wants a lot. So, yeah.
I was just saying, I'll laugh out loud to Gray Matter Hulk, who says, in the words of TJ, listen to Alec and blame John.
There you go.
That's legit. I recommend and agree with that. So those of you who know the show know that we start off with our reading list. What have we been reading? What have we been enjoying? Then we get into our news topics of the day. There's a lot of news this last week, a lot of exciting things, and we might spend a lot of time going through it. But we're going to start with what we've been reading. This was not a big War of the Realms week, so I'm going to jump to Jason instead this week.
All right.
What Jason's been reading first.
Cool. All right, yeah. First, like in the mail, I got this recently, a little King Diamond action figure. They finally remade those, so I'm pretty excited to get that. This is the second action figure I've ever owned. So the other one I have is like the Slayer Goat Head Warrior guy. And then also from being a part of the Patreon for Blaster Stash It, the winner, they do a random drawing every month for Patreon subscribers. This month was the who's the new Captain America. So that's cool to get that and win that. So shout out to Blaster Stash It. Those guys are really wonderful and nice. I read Detective Comics. I always start off with DC, issue 1005. It is the end of the Arkham Knight storyline, and it was cool. And it was fine.
They had that cool cover with her holding like the cowl and the skull or something.
Yeah, man. She's like a really cool, fun, like enjoyable character, I think. She has an interesting story. But yeah, she gets defeated and gets arrested, but then at the end, someone breaks her out. So, so it's gonna be cool. I hope to see that character come back.
Typical Batman villain.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I really hope we see her again. But at the same time, when they were fighting, Batman's like, that was my battering, but I didn't throw it. And just ask your dad. She's like, oh, lies, So hopefully, that put a little seed in her mind to check it out. And maybe she'll become a bad guy, become part of the Bat family, as they all do. So I'm just assuming that's probably going to happen down the line. Didn't read Event of Leviathan. I'm going to do that later, even though I'm not really digging that kind of stuff. But read Flash, Year 1, issue 3, I believe, is out of there. Just goes more into him fighting the turtle and introduces kind of like Captain Cold and their early introduction to the Rogues Gallery. So some interesting stuff. It's pretty enjoyable for the most part. I want to read Justice League Odyssey, especially because that's going to end. Oh, you got it too. Nice, John. Have you been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get to it for sure. Yeah, I got all 3 issues of Year One Flash, and it's been great. And I read it today. It's very good. I'm about halfway. Cool. It was the last one that I got to for my reading list today, so I'm only halfway through it, but I've been enjoying it.
Good, man. That's awesome. I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
No, the triple threat. You know, that show that Rod the Rican does with Jabroni and Perry Comics. They are all big, for the most part, big Flash fans. Sweet. And I was on with them when issue 2 was coming out, and they said, "You got us. This is a great jumping on point." Totally. I went to my LCS. They still had issue 770, so I just grabbed 70, 71, and I was like, "Let's just give it a shot." And it was so good, I had it put on my pull list.
Nice, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you dig it. Yeah, then I want to read Justice League Odyssey, I guess because that story is going to come to an end sometime soon. So that'll be cool. And I think that's by Joshua Williamson as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't remember what he said. Oh, he's going to be writing Batman Superman coming up. So that should be really cool, seeing his take on Batman and Superman. And it's something he's always wanted to do for a long time. I recently watched an interview with Joshua Williamson on Comic Pop. He brought on a guest, and yeah, it was cool. They had a really good in-depth interview. I recommend checking that out. It's kind of his future plans for DC and how he kind of got started. Really interesting stuff. Next, I read, let's see, sorry, Immortal Hulk from Marvel. That continues to be really good. Did you read Immortal Hulk, JD?
Yeah.
Dude, that ending was brutal, man.
I don't know. Brutal is the best definition of it. More or less, it's kind of a all right, that's what we're dealing with. I mean, poor guy.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him, but I'm like, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to fix this? I don't know, man.
Yeah, let's see what Al does. I kind of think it's coming to an end, the arc. I think Ewing...
Cindy Rider taking over?
I thought Al was going to at least 24.
Okay.
So I don't know.
God, I hope a new writer doesn't take over, man. But I mean, once your story's done, it's done. You know.
I don't think you can continue the premise.
Okay.
I think it's got to end at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Worlds colliding thing going on.
Sure.
Worlds are colliding.
I do like that he's named those Hulks in those last couple issues, and I feel like he's kind of like can call them anytime now as like a superpower. Which is pretty cool. It's a new take. But yeah, it's been interesting. I still recommend checking out and reading the Hulk. Invaders #6 was awesome. That continues to be one of my favorite books. If you like old school comics, like check them out. Like it kind of has an old style feel, but with like a little modern twist on it. Invaders.
Oh yeah. Invaders 3.
Yeah, Invaders issue 6.
Invaders 6. I was like, 3.
Yeah.
I think Submariner on the cover with
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped his weapon against the U.S. and a lot of people started turning into Atlanteans, and so they needed water to breathe, and he put a huge wave, crashed everywhere, and so a lot of population went back to Atlantis, and it's just pretty wild. It was really cool seeing like their war stories and their like relationships, and then all of a sudden how it is modern day and their relationships currently, and how some things still match, and you still understand certain people's point of view and how they decide to do these things that they did. So it's really interesting stuff. I really like Invaders a lot. Hope more people start reading that. Punisher #12. It's always fun. It was a really unnecessary issue, but it's just like, oh yeah, beach, war. So just people getting slaughtered on a beach. You don't need to read it at all, really. Like last issue, his plane crashed, or he went on Baron Zemo's plane. It crashed in the ocean while Baron Zemo jetted out of there. So this one, I guess it's called like the story arc is called what, Battle on the Streets or something.
Yeah.
This one just takes place on the beach. He's not even in the city yet. So at the end of this one, he takes off towards the city. Don't need this issue unless you want to see just needless violence. It is fun. It's great action-packed stuff.
But that's why you read Punisher.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, totally. So I still recommend Punisher. It was fun. Silver Surfer Black. That was interesting stuff, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Animation style's pretty interesting. Totally different. Yeah, it's like unlike anything I've ever seen before, like art-wise. So it was really cool and trippy to read. A fun adventure. But yeah, I'm still not sure if I like say I loved it, but it was still interesting, and I would recommend it to check it out. What did you think, JD? Did you read that?
Oh yeah, I'll get into that.
Okay, all right, cool. And then Red Venom. and that continues to be pretty interesting with that magic stone kind of imagination symbiote thing. Yeah, it was fun and enjoyable. It was cool. And then at the end, he beats Jack Lantern, and Jack Lantern I guess dropped his stone, and at the end someone else picked it up. Yeah, you don't know who picked it up either, so that's still an open thread to be left open for later.
You go to the last page, you kind of have an idea who's coming.
What do you think? Who? Oh yeah, what's that?
Rhino.
Yeah. Rhino was on the next cover, but I don't know if he has a stone. But I guess they wouldn't ruin it to say to show a new suit or something. Yeah. So
Kate's comes back soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after all this War of the Realms is over, so it should be real soon. But I think that's all I read. Been reading a lot of Why the Last Man because now I'm a permanent member for Story Comic Corps. Nice. It's on every Mondays. Yeah, so we went over a whole entire omnibus last episode in an hour. So if you want to know what happens in a whole entire omni of Why the Last Man, check that out. We're going to do the same exact thing upcoming. So that's 15 issues of a comic book. So I've been reading that, but I think that's everything I've read, gents.
What are you guys reading? From Lords of the Long Box jumped in the chat, and I wanted to shout him out. Dude, he's been doing some amazing videos.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely dropping some huge news, some real possibilities for the Marvel Universe. He's way ahead of the curve on a lot of cool things. If you guys do not know TiVo, I'd be shocked, but he's there in the chat, Lords of the Long Box. You should definitely subscribe and check him out. He's really awesome.
Yeah, go check out Lords of the Long Box videos to get your just information and story about everything, man. TV shows, there's so much news that's been coming out lately, and they're on top of their game. I'm learning so much from watching their shows, their episodes. So Absolutely. Good.
And he's a fellow Doctor Strange lover too.
Yeah,
right. Respect. So JD, what have you been reading, man?
Well, this week for these new comic book day pickups, I caught up with last week, but this week did the Immortal Hulk Alex Ross cover and read it, and like we're saying, I think this might be the last one I buy because I really think I want this in an omnibus format, or at least I don't want the trades. I want them to bind this in one book because I think it would read better as an overall read if you just continuously read it. It's just my opinion. Because waiting for this thing to come out every 3 weeks sometimes, or 4 weeks sometimes, 5 weeks sometimes, it's driving me nuts. But now it looks like it's kind of got
I reread it for a video with Jeffrey Comic-Con, and it was even better just being able to binge it, just power through. I totally agree. Especially that story arc all the way through the Green Door is just lights out. Just incredible.
Yep. The Venom issue, I liked it. Wasn't as good as the last issue, but I knew they had to get back to the Dylan situation and everything else going on. Very good. I picked up this cover kind of because my shop got shortchanged again. The one I go to, the smallest one in town. I just support the smallest one because the big one here doesn't need any support. It's huge. It's called Krypton, so you could figure it's not that. It's pretty well known. This is a selfie Spider-Man cover. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I don't care. I'll get into this. This was fun. This is the last issue of Vader Dark Visions, and it's kind of it's trippy, and I think that's the best way to put it. If you read this, you will enjoy it. If you like Star Wars, it is trippy. It's not from a Vader point of view. It's from another point of view. So let me just fix this here. So it's pretty good, and Vader is flat out on each. There's a skull. I mean, there's one page in here that's just enough to just scare the shit out of you. And just imagine. There you go.
Oh wow. That just ended today too, right? That's the end of the
last one. Dennis Hopeless, local guy, another one. Good friends with Colin Bunn. So we have what do they call themselves? The Missouri something.
Yeah, man, I forgot their.
I see it. I went there. I'll probably someone's
Missouri Swagger. Is that what it is? Missouri Swagger.
Yeah, Missouri Swagger. That's what it is. These two guys. They're local. They're from the Midwest, but I see them a lot. They might both. Dennis usually comes to around my neighborhood here. He'll be here in a couple of weeks. I know that for sure because he already announced he was going to be here. And then let's get into this really quick. As a huge Silver Surfer fan, I'm not disappointed in the writing. Donnie is there. This is a short series. This is only going to be, I think, 6 issues. 5 issues total. Because remember, we have an ending to this. So if anything's got an ending, I think Marvel puts it at 6 or 12 issues at the most.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
So this has an ending to it, but this kind of has a hell of a twist. But honestly, it was it's not that hard to figure out. We're not talking a Kaiser Sose moment.
No.
You know,
But it doesn't. But I don't think it damages the impact in any way.
not at all.
No.
I would say that this is of a Silver Surfer, now of a plain Silver Surfer book. Now, Silver Surfer and Defenders is better than there, and Silver Surfer has a side character, and all the other ones is great. Silver Surfer own issues, obviously Infinity Gauntlet and everything else. A lot of them were good back in the day. The last set was pretty good, the Dan Slott version. This was very good. I will say that the artwork is gonna take people time to realize that. I knew it was, when I looked at who it was. I'm like, oh, Dave, and Dave. Actually, Dave Stewart gets a lot of credit in this one, but I think he's more the letterer. But this is what it is. It's this kind of artistic style, but the meaning is there, and the brief. You don't have to read anything before it to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You could just Norrin Radd's telling his story. And he's telling his story from Guardians of the Galaxy to Fantastic Four with Devourer Worlds, being Herald, to there. It's short, quick read, good stuff. I did like it. I recommend everybody get it. I think this is going to be a fun one to read. I don't want to announce who the main.
Nah, don't
I'm
spoil.
going to do that next week. You'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you all a week on that one. Yeah, I mean, I like the artwork, but it's not something that I would. Again, I'm going to say here, it's very. What's the best way to put it here? Very digital artwork.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's not the artwork that I'm a big fan of. Like, I don't like any comics today. I kind of getting sick of it because these panels. You're probably better off I'm not saying digital all the way, but there's a big difference between this interior, all shiny and nice, that they think is great, and me grabbing an old book and enjoying something else. You know, an old.
Yeah, for me, for Silver Surfer, I felt like it was very wordy, dragged on too long, in my opinion. And I was dozing off while reading it. And then, no, just tired, I guess, you know, but I was like, it didn't keep me like, okay, whatever. For me, like the art kind of helped it to move it along, you know, and it was interesting and different. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was still good. I'm still going to read them all. I really liked the letter at the end, Cage's letter, and kind of talking about Stan Lee. That was cool. I recommend the digital director's cut or special edition. It has a bunch of like all the covers they made for Silver Surfer. That has the script by Donny Cates.
Oh wow!
So it's really cool seeing Cates' script and breakdown because there's no format of how to write a comic book script. Everyone has their own style how they do it. So it's really cool to see him break it down in a certain way and describe each panel by panel. And then also the art, the black and white sketches, as well as blank colored versions as well. So I'm pretty tempted to do like a parody of it because the template's already there. I just got to put my own empty quotes on there, So I don't know, but yeah, it was cool. So I recommend the digital edition for sure.
One thing about the Cates issue here is there's a lot of variants out there, and Tom picked up I think the Alex Ross one.
I honestly don't know who the artist was. I just thought it was so cool.
That's Alex Ross.
This one,
I love that one. Yeah,
and that doesn't look like a Ross signature.
No, that's
I don't know who the signature is on that one.
There's supposed to be like a secret Zek variant also.
So this one had the Fantastic Four in the reflection on the board.
Mike Zek one. Parrell. The other one, there is a Delato one that's exclusive to a group of British, the European ones. And do I get another Delato? It's just a question. I mean, Delato surfers if you don't know, Delato started early on in his career doing a lot of other ones, but he did the Annihilation Silver Surfer. And the new one for Black, it looks more and more like that. And so I liked it. I mean, it's good. I think everybody should pick it up just to keep it going. And it's It's a 5-issue run, so you can't go wrong.
Anything else you read, or is that
That's about it. That's about it right now. Yeah.
There's some awesome folks in the chat. I know Biggie Shack jumped in and Count Von Strange jumped in. Airboy the Barbarian, which is a great name. I absolutely love that name. Bub's Comics. People talking about the different covers they bought. Some people really loving Donny Cates. Some people hating that artwork that you were talking about. Is it Trad Moore?
Treadmore he's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just very digital to me. It's become that book in particular, you could see it a lot. Maybe because I'm such a Surfer fan, and the last series of that wasn't very
Mm-hmm.
It was different. It was not the same. It was very old school style.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't Buscema. This isn't This isn't Kirby. This isn't Buscema. This isn't anything else. This is a modern version of it. It's not even what Cates did with Surfer in
Thanos. Yeah.
right with Jeff Shaw and who's the other guy that does a lot of stuff with no, Jeff Shaw is the one who
Thought he did all the Thanos, but
yeah, he did all the Thanos. It was Jeff Shaw.
Yeah, I agree with the digital look.
I
That's why I agree with the digital look too. Like this one panel in particular, I wish I had it on me, but yeah, it was like a close up of Surfer, but I had like a blurry digital background. But you can almost see like the pixels, like they kind of messed it up or didn't come through, or didn't get like a high quality kind of JPEG to use or something. But I was like, ooh, that one kind of looks bad.
You are 100% right. It's digital. It looks like I was watching a VHS tape.
I will say, like, I dug it because I liked that it looked very kind of like trippy, cosmic. I just kind of I liked that it didn't look pristine and normal and perfect. I kind of dug the artwork style for it.
It kept me interested in it. Yeah,
they got me excited with page 1 when it was Jeff Shaw, and then I took the page and I'm
right. That's not really a fair tease, right?
Nope.
Let's see. RJ Taylor was shouting out some of the different incentive covers, the Zek 1 in 50, and there's an Adi Granoff. Bradshaw, he said mine is it Perel 1 in 15?
Yeah, there's a Perel, Zek, Adi Granoff, Delato. Well, there is a Ross somewhere. I don't know where. Oh no, there isn't a Ross. Ross was last week or 2 weeks ago in a Silver Surfer. I have that.
Bub's Comics is talking about going to Heroes Con. We got Stay Puffin, Simple Man Comics coming in, Vu Hong. Thanks everybody for coming by. We really do appreciate people using a little time for us on a Wednesday night. I have a rather large stack I've been reading this last week, partly because I had so many books from last week that I didn't get to. So I finally got to the Ed Pisker's X-Men Grand Design from last week, which was great. I mean, it's like all my favorite X-Men books. This is like the time of X-Men when I was super into it. Storm losing her powers and trying to get her powers back. That whole run. Awesome.
Shout out to Ed Pisker, Pittsburgh boy from here, and his YouTube show, Comic Kayfabe. So check that out. They do all kinds of cool stuff, and they break down Akira as well. He's a big Akira fan. So
nice.
Really cool stuff on Comic Kayfabe. So check that out.
I'm going to definitely grab, I think next week, the second issue in that story drops, and I'm going to definitely grab that next one. It's X-Men Grand Design, but that storyline's called Extinction 1 and 2. I don't usually read annuals. I don't buy them often, but I'm a bit of a Joelle Jones addict these days, and so I snagged this Catwoman one. It's a great standalone book. I really enjoyed it. I still want her to be doing all the interior art, but I know that it was a lot for story, cover, interior, a lot.
Totally.
So I get it, and I still really enjoyed it. I finished Meet the Skrulls, and even though this wasn't like a perfect ending to that story, I would still give that whole storyline like 9 out of 10. It was just excellent. Meet the Skrulls is a really good read. If you snag the trade at some point or find all the issues, it's a really good read. Everybody did Silver Surfer Black. We chatted about that, and so I'll skip through that. I got the next issue in Flash Year 1, and I'm about halfway through reading that and really enjoy it. I think it's really awesome. It's a good jumping on point for me because I don't know a whole lot about Flash, so I'm kind of getting into it. I really appreciate that. See, Immortal Hulk got shouted out earlier. I will say this is a messed up, graphic, and awesome issue, and just twisted and cool. Very like a lot of the stuff that I think Jason and I are enjoying in Marvel these days. That Dead Man Logan
Hannibal kind of stuff. This one got pretty dark, but I really dug it. I like the aversion of abomination that they're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I snagged Sonata and the writer artist for this, Brian. I'm not gonna know y'all pronounce his name. Habsalam, I think, was at my LCS today, so I got a signed copy of this while he was at my shop today, and that's the book. Sorry, it's Haberlin. Sorry, Brian Haberlin, and he's gonna be the. This is gonna be the book that Alec and I are breaking down later tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll.
Are you guys doing two of them back to back?
We're basically doing that as our primary topic with Drew Manchu, and then right when we're wrapping up at the end, instead of a debate topic, we're just going to roll right into Silver Surfer Black.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this was the Alex Ross cover for a book from the week before.
Oh, that's badass.
Wasn't that from Marvels?
Yep, that's the one from Marvels, and this is actually a cool little thing that they did with all Alex Ross art on the inside, and just to share. Some good doom.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Good stuff. Good book.
Yeah, I've got that Marvels run. It's so good. So good. And then the last book I got both. I don't often buy both covers, but I snagged both Catwoman covers this week. I'm a Joel Jones addict, like I said, and it's a great read. I really enjoy the stuff with her and her sister. You know, her sister is something of an invalid, and that storyline I've been really, really enjoying. And I love the throwback, sort of almost Michelle Pfeiffer-esque costume that she's touting here is really bad.
You like leather, John. You like leather.
You know it. And then, of course, I had to get my Art Germ and complete my Art Germ run because there's only got, one or two more, I think, and then he's done. I just want that whole set.
Did you see the DC poster book for Art Germ that came out today?
I did not.
Yeah, who put out a review for it today? I saw someone put out a review of that book today.
I went to the shop and they showed it to me and they're like, "Hey, didn't your guys interview Stanley Archer? And look at this thing." I said, "Well, yeah, that's cool."
Yeah, it looks awesome. I saw like the solicit for it, and I was really interested in it. I really like those big books, and I kind of wanted to get that. But yeah, someone today put out a review of their book, so I got to make sure I watch it. I'm just trying to scroll through real quick to see who it is. There it is, Mr. Roboto Comics. So shout out to Mr. Roboto Comics.
Regato, Mr.
For doing a whole entire Art Germ DC Comics poster portfolio review. So it's only 3.5 minutes long, so quick watch. So check out Mr. Roboto Comics.
Boogie Bentley says he's on the fence about grabbing the trade for Meet the Scrolls. He dug the first issue. I'd say definitely dive in. It's totally worth it. Some people talk about the Daredevil comics and things. R.J. Taylor, Immortal Hulk. Airboy mentions the Abomination Toxic Vomit, and yeah, that was quite awesome. And then Chris Barrett says he thought that Catwoman's sister was a nun, and I don't remember that storyline, but in this, the beginning of this Joel Jones run, her sister has been in a hospital of sorts because she doesn't speak, she can't really move, she's just an invalid.
It's a twin, though, right? It's a twin?
I don't know that they've told us if it's a twin, but definitely they've given us a little insight into her life having a sister.
I'll have to find that out for sure.
But again, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then the villainess, this really awful, creepy villainess who has like no nose, and she's like looking for the secret to immortality. Really creepy, awful lady. Really cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yes, Mastodon says dem buns.
Taillights.
These are both booty covers. Absolutely. I don't want to like ruin anybody's view, but like, yeah, 100% booty cover this week for me. And of course, so yeah, I'm buying both.
Nice.
Lots of exciting stuff going on. Rob Liefeld, obviously, a lot of news this week. Lots of news about books being optioned and stories coming all over the place to TV maybe or movies. But we're going to start with a little Rob Liefeld news and kind of what's going on. Anybody want to jump in first on this in our group?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah. So Rob Liefeld hit DC pretty hard, saying they should just drive their car off the cliff, or that's what it's, in a nutshell. Rob and Jim Lee feud continues since the Image days. Let's be honest. They've never been. They probably hated each other at Marvel for all we know in the early 1991. However, let's just go over what he's saying. He's saying DC he doesn't like the way DC's been going, and it's not been ideal for everybody. I mean, people have been complaining, but you can't compare a comic to what's going on with other things. So, you know, you can't blame them for everything else. But DC as a whole is run by Warner Brothers, and we went into that they screw up everything anyway. But one of the things that Liefeld also did to continue his love fest with all his fans is he will no longer sign any True Believers New Mutants 98.
Why?
I will repeat that.
It's a True Believer. Like, why?
He will no longer sign any facsimile or reprints of New Mutants 98. Why? Because he's a dick.
He is, dude. He's the
And
worst.
he continued to do this, and when he started to get bashed, 5 hours ago, he deleted his Twitter.
Yeah. And then I want to say he posted something where he like tagged and then highlighted his haters and like almost made it seem like he wanted people to go after them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Liefeld 101. And
And it backfired on him so hard.
You got the green light to go after him.
Yep. Yeah, and it backfired on him so hard. Like, he left Twitter. Like, normally he's always like, yeah, I'll ban you so quick, whatever. I'm the king of Twitter, you know? He has this weird chip on his shoulder. No idea. What a psychopath. And so he's off Twitter now. So that frees up my news feed a little bit. So that's great.
But it is, I want to give Liefeld credit for one thing, and I usually don't give him credit, but there's so many great memes being made about him right now. It's so good.
Yeah, I saw one today.
It's so great. There's so many ones. It's like, oh, is that really shitty art? No, it's just Liefeld's newest book.
Oh, I guess he's back on Twitter. RJ Taylor says.
Just so, and it's so good. And let's be honest, I've never been a Liefeld guy, so I have no problem bashing him. I've been bashing him for a good, wow, it's almost 30 years. I've never liked him, and it's not just the feet; it's the titty cap, it's the
oh man, the titty cap,
the titty cap. It's been his character creation. I absolutely think on Image when everybody says, "Oh, you didn't like him," yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't like anything he did. I thought he was such a. I don't like him. I never did. I always said.
I would say on my side, I had no real awareness of him as a kid, as a comic collector. I liked New Mutants. I liked X-Force, and I read it because I liked the characters, and I really thought Cable was the most badass character in Marvel when I was reading. I had New Mutants 98 and thought it was garbage because it didn't have. I wanted Cable. I wanted the first Cable.
Yeah.
And then I followed him over to Image, but I didn't read his book the way I read like Savage Dragon, which I was obsessed with and still am obsessed with. But like
Eric Larson,
I didn't know anything really about him until I got older, you know, in the 2000s and started like reading about the artist, not necessarily just reading the comics all by themselves.
Yeah, see, I got to watch these things about Liefeld that were always being broadcasted on this network that used to, I forget what channel it was, but they used to have these things where Liefeld would be talking to people, and Rob was the young buck, and McFarlane and him were always there with Stan and going over everything else. And this is the era, this is before Carnage or anything else, so it's that era going around, and Liefeld was a dick then. He was the young, he was the prodigy. He really was a prodigy. And then he got exposed for being what he is, which is an attention grabber.
Mastodon Comics is asking, can we clarify titty cap? And this is titty cap right here. This is Captain America as drawn by Rob Liefeld so that he has giant boobs.
Yes, that is a full D-cup headlight Captain America.
That is Captain America as envisioned by Rob Liefeld. Just so you know what titty cap means. That's him right there. Sorry, it's out of focus. Now it's in focus. There you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Soak that up, Mastodon. If that's your first experience with titty cap, there you go. Something special for you today.
Now, one of the things also that was brought up is apparently Liefeld's back on Twitter.
Yeah, I trust RJ Taylor. RJ Taylor is like the bomb. That guy is in every chat. He's up to date on everything. I just made him a wrench on my channel. That guy is badass.
Nice. Okay, so he's back.
Sorry.
Don't really care if he is back. Not you.
No, sorry. Yeah.
Liefeld to me is just one of those guys that, you know, if you're hanging out with him and everything else in a bar and you hear him kind of go over like that, you kind of pick up your drink and just move away, which seems to be what 90% of his peers have done with him. You don't know, Have you ever, if anybody has ever been to a con, have you ever known Liefeld not to be off in Siberia somewhere, or he's
With like
always
10 handlers.
Yeah, because he must have an entourage of people all around him. He did it at Image, and he still didn't put out the books in time. I mean, he's just a dick. And I don't think that Liefeld deserves the credit for, I mean, yeah, he created a character, but the better Deadpool was never his.
Right.
On by the time Deadpool was good, breaking the fourth wall, being a true character, having fun, doing everything else, was well after he was gone in the mid-90s, in the late 90s, 97 and on. And that whole first run, Liefeld has nothing to do with other than the fact that he did it. Now,
Superman comics. Rob Liefeld is the Kardashian of the comic.
Put it, yeah.
Dude, like even like this figure I got, I was talking about guys earlier. It's made by Super 7. If you go on their website, they have some like kind of like custom or their own kind of characters that they made up for like their own kind of worlds. And one of them looks exactly like Major X that he probably ripped off. It's ridiculous. This guy is a lunatic.
Call him out on Twitter.
He'll ban you.
I think that was something that somebody joked about was that is it possible? I think Kachung said, is it possible that the amount of people he's banned is greater than the amount of followers he has?
He probably has. He's just an a-hole. But
we don't have to spend too much time on him. I think
I want to get you out.
I understand historically the value. I just think that I was more disappointed by the bullying tactics than by the self-aggrandizing. He's always going to be a self-aggrandizer. And people throw the same shade at Stan Lee sometimes, and the way he hyped himself above King Kirby and all those guys. That doesn't bother me. Like big ego, whatever. Just let it.
Neil Adams had it. Neil Adams.
If he needs a big ego, give him a big. I'm more bothered by the idea that he was asking his followers to basically bully critics, and I think that is petty and aggressive in a way that I think was really negative and nasty and not needed in any way.
What if I think this is going to bite him in the ass? And I really think it's going to come back to where CB Cebulski should go in there and say, you know what, Rob, let's cut ties for the final time. And then he can call Jim Lee, and Jim Lee could be like, fuck off. But then he can call Todd up. We can call anywhere else. He's not hurting because he'll charge you $40 to sign a shoelace, and he'll ruin that. But he does what he does, but it better not be a true believer. Better not be a true believer. Shoelace. He is the way he is. And one other big news that I wanted to announce regarding people that some people have problems with. Hear about Tom King? Tom King is doing a new series in 2020. The Batman Catwoman series.
Yes.
I had heard about
villain is bringing back one of my favorite Batman villains, and I might buy this to see if Tom King can do this right. It's the Phantasm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm super stoked.
Right, and it'll be right. It'll be done. I mean, you're not going to have a problem with the artwork or anything.
It's a mini series, right?
Correct. Yeah. It'll be in 2020. And the other big news, I got confirmation because I heard rumors about Die being optioned.
Yeah, I heard it got approved for a show or a movie.
I believe it's actual television 13-episode commitment.
Awesome. That's going to be fantastic.
Wow. Do they have a network?
I think Sci-Fi said they were going to do it.
Oh, nice.
But you never know.
I mean, ABC, NBC.
It's a production company who's doing it, and they go to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find out more about that. But
and then I know that we had Pearl got an option. Mm-hmm. I know that Bone Parish got an option. Those are both books that I've read and enjoyed.
Bone Parish is probably the horror story I like Bone Parish. By the way, Bone Parish written by Colin Bunn as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is the freakiest. Like I don't know who was with me. Probably somebody was with me when I was talking to him. And he's like, I said, hey, I'm friends with him on Facebook or whatnot. And he's like, hey, you like all the weird stuff I do. I'm like, which is true. Empty Man, Bone Parish, all the stuff that's
Cold Spots. Yeah. Dark Arc.
Crazy.
Yep. So good.
I like that he did.
I dug. I bought the 2 issues of Bone Parish on a lark because a shop was, still had them for cover price quite a while after, and I was like, sure, I'll try. I had the cover Bs, and they were great. Like I've wanted to go and find issues 3 and on, but like I enjoyed it. It was a twisted, messed up drug story. Really different than anything I'd read.
The only
It'd be really cool to see it on HBO or something.
The guy get eaten by the alligator.
Oh, and I forgot. Yeah, Oblivion song, the Kirkman.
Kirk. Well, that was a funny thing. That's the second time I've heard that being optioned.
And this was a movie, specifically a movie, and I don't remember what production company they were set up at, but there was an option for that to become a film.
It'd be pretty hard to do in a film.
As far as Kirkman goes, League of Thieves is still out there. Walking Dead's going through its stages right now, and let's be honest, it's more a whole nother world right now going on over there. But now Kirkman's Oblivion song, which I love.
It was great. Yeah, I've got the first 5 or 6, I think.
I think we're up to, I don't know what we're up to, but I'm to.
Yeah, I'm like probably 3 or 4. Like,
I don't think it's going to go much longer because this is another one. It's got to have a finite ending. That's.
I don't know. I think this is one that it probably go on for a while. Like before he started the comic, before he even like premiered #1, he had about like a year or two's worth of story already done.
He said 24 issues started.
Yeah, dude.
And he said that's the secret. And Kirkman, as young as he is, he's been around a long time. And he says that his secret is before he puts anything out, he has to have at least 12 issues before he goes any further. But
Drew says issue 16 dropped today, so they're already
today, which by the way my shop did not get.
Oh, man.
15, so that'd be good. So
yeah, I gotta catch up on that. That'd be interesting though to see a movie of Oblivion song. I think I prefer a TV show. I feel like it would be kind of too hard to do in a movie, but it's possible.
It'd be expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna bail, guys. I gotta set up the stream for the next for the book club for tonight. I wanted to do a real quick though. I'm sure you guys would mention it anyways, but the Comic Core has an unbelievable opportunity out there. If you haven't seen the contest video, you're already on the Comic Core channel. Scroll down and you'll see the contest announcement. It's unbelievable. Right. You're talking about plane trip, hotel, tickets to get into a comic convention. All you got to do is follow the comic contest rules for that announcement video.
There's a good chance you'll get a shot on the house too, probably from.
I'm going to let JD go through the specifics he wants to do, but if you haven't heard about it, when this show wraps, please go and check that video out because it is totally worth it. And as far as this comic community and giving back, this is something that I know that Chad and JD and all the Comic Core have been really working towards making happen.
All right. Thank you, John.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, John. Have a good show. I'll probably catch you guys when you talk about the Surfer. So Comic Core, I just want to announce the contest. So we are giving away a flight, a room and board, so to speak, your accommodations, and your pass to get into the con to hang out with the core.
Yeah.
All of us that are going, I know I do plan on going. You never know what life gets in the way, but I'm still planning on going there. I know Jason, Comic Books Explained is going to be going there. We're looking at, I think we've got about 20 or so people going.
Yeah.
And pretty much most of the core. We're all excited about it. And the rules are pretty basic. You got to subscribe to us. Make a video about just telling us why you want to go.
Yeah, you can come kick it with us, man.
And kick it with us. Be awesome. And you never know, whoever might be there. We are building a booth, a double booth, 2 booths we have. We've got we're working on backdrops and flooring and everything else, and interviews lining up.
Yeah, going to be doing a lot of interviews.
Garth Ennis is definitely on the list. So for all you fans of
I'm hoping to talk to Ennis and hopefully Lemire. Yeah, I got some words I got to say to those guys. Yeah.
We're looking at a few things right now. I'm Chad and I are gonna sit down and go over a bunch of stuff this week, hopefully, Chad, or next week, and we're literally looking forward to getting inviting one of some lucky contestant here as a giving group that we are. We'd love to give back to the community, and to as a thank you to everybody, we'd like to have somebody want to come along and kick it with the fools.
Yeah, everyone check out Chuck Loader Comics video as well. It's very informative and it gives you the breakdown, so it's great.
Yeah, that's the best way to find out what's going One thing I just wanted to shout out. If you'd want to check out a good my community shout out is to Bear Island Comics. If you did not see, he got lucky at a Spider-Man booth contest. He won. He bought a few boxes and he picked up a very, I think a surprise. You watch, it's good. And we're looking at some of the new creator lists right now for Baltimore Comic Con. Yes, there's a bunch of people that are coming. I haven't even gone through it because I usually make my list of check, no. Liefeld's there, I'm sorry. The only reason I want Liefeld to be there, and Drew, I think Drew Manchu may not. He's got to go to Disney World, if you don't know, which is great, but I'd rather have Drew just knock out Liefeld once.
Tie his two laces together.
Drew, if you were angry at George Perez, you were more angry at Liefeld. So that would be something there. So, and this weekend, by the way, is Heroes Con. So if anybody's going to Heroes Con, my partner in crime on the Golden Guys, DS Comics, is going to be there. So check him out for sure. So I know Heroes Con is in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know if anybody's going to Heroes Con. That looks like a great lineup.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's too bad Drew Manchu's not going to go to Baltimore, bro. Man, I was really hoping to visit him. Oh, did we lose internet connection?
Are we back? I'm here, so sorry about that.
That's all good. Oh, Legends in the chat. What's up?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So I'm back. Well, I'm having some technical difficulties now. I can't hear anybody. Let me try again. Jason, can you talk?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
Ah, dang. All right. Well, I mean, it was enough
I
time.
don't know. It looks
anyways.
like somebody logged into the Comic Core.
Oh, really?
Site and
Is that what
knocked me
happened?
But anyway,
geez.
if you guys can hear me, I'm here. I'll be calling it a night. So.
All right.
Jason got snapped. Hang on.
Oh, man, they said they can hear me.
Oh, well. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I enjoyed it very much so. This was the Comic Core. First time I've ever had a glitch like this. Looks like somebody else logged into the site. So I'll be out. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Later.